So remember the last time I used to record Pokemon? Yeah, me neither. But the point is I have some battles for you guys, and we're just going to get straight into them because I have 4 of them, and I've been saving other ones up. So hello, welcome back. This is ProPokeNoob. If you've forgotten and you've just been ignoring my Legend of Zelda Let's Play, you should check that out, by the way. It's going really well, and I love it. But yeah, definitely go give that a check. Pokemon will be coming back. I'm out of school finally, so hopefully content will be picking up. Also, I have a Twitter account. Yes, it's gross. I'm sorry I joined it, but it's for the sake of the people who actually use Twitter. It is going to mainly just be used for updates for both YouTube and Twitch content. So if you've been scrambling around trying to find me on Twitch, or if you're just waiting for the next video and you don't want to keep checking your sub box, Twitter will update you on that if you so choose to join it. Follow me, it'll be in the description below. But anyways, we have a PUNUL little LU? What the heck's LU? Anyways, we got a PU match against the person by the name of the King of Spain. The king himself plays Pokemon. Isn't that impressive? But you can see it's a little dated because I have a Haunter. And if you wanted a better reason as to why Haunter was banned, this battle will demonstrate that quite well. That is a Pikachu cosplay. In the front there, you cannot see him actually going to end up leading off with that. He's going to end up leading off with Ursaring, which I did not expect. I expected Torterra or something of the sort. I'm just going to go for Volt Switch. Luckily, he is not Protect Quick Feet set. And as we'll find out right now, I go into my Poliwrath. He ends up going just straight for Facade. And he's going to get his Toxic Orb activated, which means that he... Or not Toxic Orb. Oh my god, he gets his Flame Orb activated. It's been a while, people. Give me a break. Which means he's the Guts variant. But I'm just going to go straight for the Brick Break. Not trying to overpredict here. He ends up switching into his Swanna, which is a very good check to Poliwrath. And that's actually a mixed Poliwrath, you'll find out in a little bit. But I am going to go to my Assault Vest Licky Licky. He is going to miss the Hurricane, which is perfectly fine with me. The King, yet again, missing another mark on Conquest, but that's perfectly fine. I'm going to go for Frustration. He ends up going to Stoutland, and this superpower does a lot of damage, and I mean a lot of damage. Ow, that is definitely Choice Banded. So I'm going to go into my Golem, just trying to bait him to continue to go for the superpower, because I figured if he goes against my Poliwrath, which has some HP investment, obviously, he's going to drop it to the point where -2 will not be able to kill, which gives me a free attack off or a free switch prediction, whatever. He just ends up going back into Swanna. I go for the Waterfall. It does a decent amount of damage. Now here I make a mistake. This is where the mixed set shows up. He goes for the Roost, and I go for the Ice Beam. That was a poor play on my part. I did not even think that could happen. However, I skillfully freeze the bird, and Swanna continuously flaps its wings when it's frozen. That's even more impressive. But either way, I get the freeze. This is going to matter a lot. I'm going to be able to switch to Golem for free. He goes into his Torterra, so I just end up going for a Stone Edge. Not making really flashy plays in this battle. I'm kind of disappointed in myself, but I'm not too concerned because I have Haunter in the back. But I'm going to go into Beheeyem. He ends up going for Bullet Seed, and this is the most painful payback that you could ever ask for. Triple crit 5 hits with the Bullet Seed essentially means that Beheeyem will not be doing anything this match, which is quite unfortunate because Analytic Choice Specs, 0 speed, Psychic would probably kill everything in existence. But Pikablue can come and go for the Icicle Crash. This is the Pikachu Bell cosplay, so it does have Icicle Crash. He's going to end up going into Regice. I'm going to go for the Knockoff here. I find Knockoff to be extremely important against the Regice because I'm looking at the rest of my team. The only thing that could probably hit this thing is Haunter, so any type of damage I can get off on this thing is good, and I end up knocking off the Life Orb, which will be important later on. I am going to go into Poliwrath, which can take most hits, actually, which is funny. No, it's because I'm faster. I can go for Brick Break and probably smash his Regice, and he's not going to be able to go for that Thunderbolt. But now I go into Haunter. It's going to be safe. He's still frozen. I'm just going to drop a Sludge Wave, and that is going to be killing off the Swanna. Don't think the crit mattered. Now he is going to go to Kadabra. The Kadabra is going to cause a bit of problems because it's going to outspeed everything but Haunter, but I'm figuring this thing has a Sash, so what I'm going to do is sack off the Poliwrath. Go into Golem. I have the Sucker Punch, and I'm just going to try and break the Sash with that. However, turns out this man, I go for Rocks. Now, yeah, okay, there's a lot going on here. Let me pause this quickly. So I end up going for Rocks for 2 reasons. One, I figured I could take a hit, and then proceed to go for the Sucker Punch afterwards to break his sub. 2, that Regice is too healthy, and so is that Ursaring. So what I'm trying to do here is weaken it up, because my only chance after this, other than breaking the Sash, is literally to get Haunter in and spam Sludge Wave. That's the only way I'm seeing myself win, and because Regice has base 200 special defense, I need to soften the thing up the best I can. However, this man goes for the Encore, and then is going to proceed to go for Calm Minds. So all I can do here is go for Sucker Punch. The only thing that I can possibly do is catch this guy off on a mistake, or just hope to God that he will eventually attack and I'll have enough Sucker Punches. Now, what didn't occur to me during the match was, you know, yeah, I could just keep going for sucker punches. After he sets up the +4, +5, whatever his encore ends, he's going to have to attack. But the thing that didn't occur to me was, if I go for sucker punch and he goes for encore again, he locks me in. However, my opponent does not realize this, makes a mistake, and actually goes for the attack, which now guarantees the chance that I actually have a chance at winning with Haunter. So Scarf Haunter is going to come in. I just have to click Sludge Wave and hope for the best. I do end up killing off the Kadabra. And the next series of plays will represent why Haunter was gotten rid of in PU. Because I knocked off that Life Orb before, he's not able to kill off Haunter. And that's going to let me sweep, literally, because the rocks, again, softened up everything to the point where every Pokemon on his team will be killed off by Sludge Wave. And, you know, Haunter hurts. Gen 5 King for a reason. He was really good in NU in Gen 5. He is going to continue to be good in NU for Gen 6. That was an excellent match, the King of Spain. Sorry about the freezing of your Swan. Had to happen, though. The only way we were going to win was to hex you out. That's unfortunate. But anyways, we're going to switch on to the next match here, which is against a person by the name of Manus. Hopefully I'm not sounding too terrible in this narration. I'm feeling a little self-conscious with the lack of experience and the fact that these battles were, 3 months ago. Isn't that interesting? Anyways, my opponent's team, this is the Zangoose team that I've run before. It's been, I think, fixed up a little bit since then. I think a couple of Pokemon have been banned from it. No, I don't think so. Regardless, that Quagsire is going to cause me a lot of problems, and so is the Pavilion. However, I didn't expect him to lead off with Pavilion. I don't know why. I can't remember what I thought he was going to lead off with. I'm going to lead off with Leavanny. Or no, I'm going to lead off with Garbodor. I think I predicted the Cradily? I don't know, but he led off with Pavilion, and I'm like, oh, this is really bad. Now I'm going to potentially lose my Sash. But I switched in regardless, just in case he was going to go for the Sleep Powder. And he's going to switch out to Pyro. Now, similar to the last battle, I am going to make a lot of obvious plays, because I'm not necessarily concerned. All I need to do is try and get Zangoose set up and start doing a lot of damage. He ends up actually making more plays than me in the beginning first few turns, because he ends up going for HP Grass. That hurts a lot, but luckily I have Solid Rock on this thing? Maybe I have Solid Rock on this thing, but I end up giving him a special attack raise. I am going to go Zangoose, predicting the Toxic, predicting him to predict my switch. Probably to Torkoal, I guess. I don't know, but I do get a free I just have to take 5% damage, but I do get a free Toxic Orb boost, or Toxic... Oh my god, what's it called? Toxic Poison boost, poison thing, you know... Zangoose likes poison. Anyways, this thing has Unaware, but I'm just going to go for the knockoff regardless. Luckily, he doesn't try to go for damage. He just goes for the recover, which means that I do have a little bit more longevity on my Zangoose. I'm going to switch out, go into my Leavanny. Hope to God he doesn't burn me or anything, but he ends up going for Earthquake. Now, this is interesting knowing that he has Earthquake, so it could matter now that, you know, if I'm looking to try and dodge him in some way, which I can't because I don't have any flyers, but... it'll be interesting later on. I am going to go for the X-Scissor. I guess he did not expect that to kill, or he's just trying to sack that off. He could have switched into Pyro there on either attack, and then threatened me out because its speed is ridiculous, and so is a special attack. So I am going to go to Torkoal, and even resisted hit on the special defensive side. Torkoal is not the greatest boaster of special defense, so I am going to be able to take 2, luckily, and now I'm going to go for a Yawn. This forces him to do one of two things. Either he has to stay in, kill my Torkoal, and let his Pyro go to sleep, which his Pyro offers a lot of threat to my team, or he has to switch out and let me get free rocks. He makes a smarter play, in my opinion, switches out, lets me get the rocks up. He's going to preserve his Pyro from falling asleep. He is going to go into his Quagsire. No big deal. He has no Defogger on his team. That's going to be nice for me. But I am going to switch out, leave this thing for Death Fodder. As I go into Leavanny, he is going to go for the Scald, and unfortunately, he lights the leaves on fire. That sucks, because I think Leaf Blade could still kill, but the fact that he can just switch in Pyro here and take next to nothing from anything that I want to do really blows. Now, I could have set up Sticky Web. Didn't think it was going to help me. I don't know why I didn't set up the Sticky Web. I don't know. I'm going to sack off my Torkoal here now, because there's no point in keeping him. He's not going to do anything for me in this battle. But I am going to go into Zangoose. He does not expect the Quick Attack, I suppose, even though I think Quick Attack is a staple attack. I think the same 4 moves, 3 or 4 moves on Zangoose are the same. It's at the Protect, Swords Dance, Facade, Close Combat, Quick Attack. I think that's the way it goes. Oh no, I have Knockoff. Never mind. I have Knockoff instead of Protect, I want to say. Oh my god, I don't remember. Either way, it goes for Superpower. I go into Garbodor. My best bet here, because he's starting to set that up and I see the leftovers, is try and get the Poison. And I get the Poison. 30% chance. It's not like I'm hacking him that much. It's okay, guys. I also have Aftermath, so he would be taking damage if I died at this thing's hands. But I am going to go for Explosion instead. because I figured I want to get as much damage off as possible. He's going to try and go for the superpower. He can't set up. He only has one turn left to use this thing. Actually, no, he wouldn't have. He would have enough. But here I'm going to go for Dazzling Gleam. This is a Technician set on Mr. Mime because I have a particular move or two on this that I didn't want to reveal yet. So what I'm going to do is switch out here because Basculin is a giant threat. Go into Caracos to sack this thing off to the waterfall. And then I'm going to actually switch back out because I wanted to check what item this thing has. And it turns out it has Life Orb. But I'm going to go into Mr. Mime. And I'm going to go for the Fake Out. Bam! Fake Out. Technician. Life Orb boosted. Yeah, damage. I just wanted priority. I'm like, hey, this would be cool. Now my opponent forgets that this thing is part fairy. Yeah, that matters a little bit. So, in the event that he didn't forget and he went for the waterfall, the reason why I went for Fake Out is I will be faster anyways. Well, with the Fake Out, and then I'll be able to go for Quick Attack with Zangoose, and after the Life Orb recoil he would have taken, it probably should have killed. I think that was my logic at the time, again, 3 months ago. Doing not too bad for 3 months ago. But anyways, Leavanny, Pavilion, you know the deal. Go for Leaf Blade, do absolutely nothing because I'm burned. Just gonna let this guy kill me off. I'm kind of lucky he didn't go for the Quiver Dance here, because going for Quiver Dance wouldn't have mattered, actually, because I have Quick Attack. So I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, so I'm going to go for Facade, actually. I figured in case he tries to make a switch, but I don't know why he'd do that. But anyways, he's going to go with his Quake Turn. Now, it's important to note that knocking off that leftovers earlier is going to matter here, because I'm going to go for Facade. He's going to go for Recover. Now, notice the amount of HP he's back at. I'm like, oh, okay, I did 70% GG, that's cool. I'll be able to kill him. But this is, oh, I want to kill him before the Toxic kills me. Now, the problem here is I roll low, and this is where he actually messed up. There was a damage roll, and I did the calculation after. If he had gone for Earthquake, he would have won because the poison damage would have actually taken me out because the Earthquake would have done more than enough. So he could have actually taken that game, but makes a mistake at the end, not knowing that it's a damage roll. So, I mean, he had no, in my opinion, because he's relying on a damage roll, I would not go for the Recover because it's going to do more than enough anyways to the point where he's going to die. Whether it rolls high or low anyway, it's going to be a 2-hit KO. He might as well just go for the Earthquake and take me out with a Toxic, because that will actually do kind of like a 50-50 for him in that favor. But either way, that was a good match as well, Manus. On to the next one. It's a Little Cup match. Little Cup is awesome against a person by the name of Her Bride. Now, I assume that 90 to 95% of the Pokemon community... no, you know what? I don't think there's really that big of a boy versus girl gap. There's probably still more boys, just because, you know, sexist undertones. But... I'm going to assume this is a guy, and he wants that gym leader. I forget her name. I don't want to say she's an ice type. I want to say she's an ice type. Flying type, ice type. I don't remember. I am not good at this. Oh my god. Why do you people still come back? Anyways. Little Cup match. Looking at this opponent's team. Bunnelby, Bunnelby, whatever, is going to have a field day the moment I get rid of Honedge. And what do you frickin' know? Honedge is the first Pokemon that comes out. I'm like, please don't start off with Honedge. And he does. So I'm going to go for U-turn. Get the hell out of here. I have to preserve Bunnelby, otherwise I won't be able to do a lot of damage. I'm going to go into Fungus, which is the best thing to take this thing on. He goes for a Totemize, and that's terrifying. And thank God I've got a bulky Pokemon out here, because he could have, you know, did a lot of damage to my team. But anyways, he's going to go for the second Iron Head. Luckily, he does not get the flinch, and I'm able to get off the Spore, which is excellent. I do have Regenerator to heal up afterwards. And I'm going to switch into Carablast to go for Knockoff, Drill Run, stuff like that. I really need to get this thing out of the way. He ends up staying in, which is interesting because Honedge, despite the fact that, like, well, if he would still have his Eviolite, it would be good against Bunnelby to tank up hits and then kill me off with a Sacred Sword. But regardless, he's going to let me kill him with the Drill Run. The crit didn't matter because I knocked off the Eviolite prior to this. And he's going to switch into Elekid. Now, the reason why I stayed in here is because I did a couple of calculations. I didn't think he'd be able to kill me through the Eviolite. Fire Punch is an uncommon move and not recommended on the Smogon site, and that was my mistake for listening to Smogon. But I wanted to make sure, I'm like, wait a minute, Elekids don't run Fire Punch, they usually run Ice Punch. So he's running Fire Punch, that sucked. Maybe the meta has evolved since I've used Elekid. I don't know, I just don't like using Elekid in this meta. Anyways, a few things happened. I killed off his Elekid with my Bunnelby. I'm going to go into my Fungus against his Froakie, which is an excellent switch. I am going to predict the Houndour, go into my Froakie, and I'm like, yeah, buddy, let's go. And, ow, that hurt. Jeez. Owie. I think the crit mattered. I think I had a chance to live that. But either way, now I have to go into my Drillbur, which will be bulky enough to just go for the Earthquake. Not very bulky, though. I mean, I'm running no HP, but regardless, that hurts. Houndour freaking hurts. So I'm going to save this thing for later. He's going to go into his Froakie. I'm going to go to my Porygon, which should be able to absorb some damage. He's just going to go for the Hydro Pump. Not going to do a lot, though. Now here, I don't go for Recover. I believe I just go for Tri Attack on the off chance he is Focus Sash. And he does end up rolling a little bit higher with the Hydro Pump here. So it's not too big of a deal. If he did have a Focus Sash, it's broken now. I can go into Fungus, threaten him out. I figured I want to predict either his switch into... Well, he only has 2 other Pokemon to switch into. I wanted to go for Stun Spore, and I missed. What I should have done is just gone for the Spore first. Spore would have been the better play, and then if you wanted to make a double switch, go for Stun Spore afterwards, because if he did switch into Krogunk, I can't do anything with Fungus anyways. It could have been set up fodder for if he had a Swords Dance Drober for some reason. I don't know. But now I can go into this. I go for the Earthquake for free. I figured Earthquake would have been the best move, even though I think Return would have been the best move to kill. Maybe? I don't know. I think it would have been the best way to go. But anyways, he's going to kill me with his Earthquake from his Drillbur. I stock off my own Drillbur. Now I can go into Fungus. I go for the Spore first because I killed off his Sleeper, and I figured, you know what, this thing still has a Deviolite on. I probably can't one-shot it with a Giga Drain. So I'm going to put it to sleep first. Safest play, go for this. Please don't wake up. For the love of God, don't wake up. He doesn't wake up. I heal, and he doesn't wake up again. I'm like, whoo, this is lucky. Getting a little lucky here, gentlemen, but I am going to kill off the Drillbur with that Giga Drain, which is perfect. Now he goes into Froakie. I cannot lose this because even if this thing was Scarfed, which I think it turned out to be. I think he said it was Scarfed. I can't remember. The chat, for some reason, is not working on these anymore, so I can't check. But if he was Scarfed, I have Bunnelby in the back that could just go for Quick Attack. And knowing that he was going to switch up into Ice Beam because that's his best play, I just went for the Sludge Bomb. It's going to do more damage. I don't want to take any risks if he was Eviolite or whatnot. I have no idea. Anyway, we have one more battle for you guys. Oh my god, it's VGC. Battle Spot Doubles, VGC, whatever you want to call it, against a person by the name of Smooth Rooster. You guys have not seen this team unless you have been on my Twitch channel. It's a little bit of a series we have, but regardless, we have a Scarf Landorus. I believe that is a Focus Sash Mammoth. No, it's a Focus Sash Lapras. That Mamoswine is a Salt Vest, I want to say. That's a Resto Chesto Snorlax. That is a Mega Pinsir. And that is a wide lens Hypnosis Rapidash. Now, for any of you VGC people, you're probably thinking, why? Why the awful team? It's not so awful when you watch it in action, just saying. So anyways, I look at my opponent's team. I really don't care what he leads off with. I'm just going to lead off with the Scarf Landorus and the Pinsir. Because I have Protect on Pinsir, we can just do this. He's going to go to the Slowking and his Bisharp. Unfortunately, the Bisharp is going to get the attack boost, but this is what I want to do to my opponents. I want to bait them into feeling comfortable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Mega Evolve, go for the Protect to get the Speed Boost after... no, I don't want to. Do I want to get the Speed Boost? I forget if I want to get the Speed Boost. Either way, I don't get a smash. I go for the Fissure, kill the Slowking off because the Slowking could not go for Protect. It is immediately dead, no big deal. I do go for the Guillotine, hit the Protect, which is a confidence booster, but he is going to go into the Machamp now. Now I'm just going to go for the Fissure onto the Bisharp. Luckily, I hit it. Unfortunately, he is a Focus Sash variant. I'm just going to go for the Frustration on the Machamp, take out the Machamp. I don't want any Dynamic Punch shenanigans. He will go for the knockoff, kill off my Landorus, but Landorus has done its job. It has broken the Sash with the Fissure. Everything will be okay. We'll go into Pepperjack now. Pepperjack will be carrying the Hypnosis, but we don't need it at this point because he's going to go for the Protect. I decide to double focus down the Bisharp on the off chance he went for the +1 knockoff on either of my Pokemon. So I go for the Frustration and the Flare Blitz. He's going to go for the Scald, kill off Pepperjack, but we don't need Pepperjack because we've got the finest and the spiciest of cheeses in the back. That is the blue cheese, or bleu cheese, as some people have told me. I don't really care. Goes for Sucker Punch, cannot kill off the Mega Pinsir. I go for the Guillotine, able to take out the Gastron yet again because his Pokemon are not going for the Protects, and I go for the Body Slam to finish off the match. That was an excellent match, Smooth Rooster. No salt, or if there were salt, it's been erased by the match history because I don't know why that's not showing up. But regardless, those are the matches for today. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Of course, stay tuned for probably higher quality content, hopefully. If you want to check out my live stuff, which I've been doing a lot more of than recording, trust me, it's true, twitch.tv/ProPokeNoob. You'll be able to follow me on Twitter and find that out, or if you're watching my battles at convenient times later on at night, you might see that I'm online. I don't know. I need to make a video eventually telling you guys that I'm online. I need to do that eventually. Regardless, thank you very much for watching, guys. Have an excellent day, and peace.